It's hard to believe it's been nearly 20 years since we left Evanston Township High School. I'm Jen Weigel. There I am drinking a beer, hidden in tinfoil on the ETHS front lawn my sophomore year. My son would be so proud. I moved back to Evanston a few years ago after living in Chicago for 10 years. I'm going to take the list given to me by all the emails of the ETHS bloggers and drive by some suggested landmarks and show those who haven't been back in a while just how Evanston looks 20 years later. I do live on my old street. Very strange. Right around the corner from the Economos house. Northwest Evanston still looks the same. There's the house that Samantha Baker lived in from 16 Candles. Jenny Bassick, that's for you, babe. And a lot of people don't know John Hughes also filmed most of Uncle Buck at a house on Lincoln Street.
Listen, don't you want a real man? You're frontin' just like Roxanne. When we first met, see, things were just fine. Thought our love was gonna last a long time, never cried.
As we get closer to the lake, Longfield has not changed a bit. The Sklamberg's old house still looks amazing, and so does the Hughes' old house. And it's for sale if anyone's got $1 million. But I was so sad to see that Dave Bailey's house has been completely leveled, and all that's left is a hole. Okay, time to move on. Let's see where the Y dances used to be. I don't think they're gonna let us bring a camera in there, so why don't you just keep it down like that, and I'll make up something and we'll see if we can go into the plant room, okay? We snuck our camera down, pretending it was off, and Clyde the custodian gave us plant room access. That's right, Evanston. The home of the Y dance is now Romper Room. This is the plant room. This is where we used to have Y dances.
Right, Friday night.
Friday night dances?
In my generation, that was our only and first chance at age 11 years old to hold a girl close.
The slow dance. It was the same with us. So.
Absolutely.
Totally depressed by what the plant room had become, I headed to downtown Evanston. Now, downtown Evanston is just about all condos. The Holiday Inn is now the Best Western, home of the Class of '87 reunion. And Sherman's has been replaced by a cozy cafe surrounded by new condos. Dave's Italian Kitchen and Pine Yard are both gone, replaced by huge shopping complexes and office buildings. And across the street, which used to be a parking lot, we now have a huge movie theater with restaurants and shops. Thankfully, Buffalo Joe's is still around, and nothing there has changed. This here used to be where the world's biggest garage sale was. On the right. Now it's LA Fitness.
Oh, yeah,
and a Monster condo, and a Barnes & Noble, and Fountain Square is now the home of bums and not where kids hang out. Check it out. While roaming downtown, we ran into a former Nichols girl who's about to enter ETHS as a freshman. What makes Nichols girls more cool than Haven girls?
I don't know. I think Haven girls like grow up more conservatively, so they're not as wild, I guess.
So some things never change. So, like, do you think the Nichols girls party more than the Haven girls?
Probably.
What about, like, the Burger King parking lots? People hang out there anymore?
No.
No? Okay. Well, we went there anyway for old time's sake. And we happened to bump into ETHS grad Officer Kyle Benoit. I almost didn't recognize him in his bulletproof vest, packing heat. It makes sense that Kyle's a cop. A runner-up for Homecoming King in 1988 and a basketball star, Kyle was always more responsible than his rebellious friends.
Are we allowed to drive around here, or is that illegal?
If you do that, you gotta sign a waiver. Except for
Since Kyle was still on the clock and had to go fight Evanston crime, we arranged to meet him after his shift. So, now it was time to hit Northwestern. The observatory was blown up. All that's left there are some trees. It's still a great place to come and sit in the rocks and check out the lake. The old frats are surrounded by new dorms, so there's no more open field to go pee in the bushes after too much beer at the Beta House. After leaving Northwestern, I got a call from Kyle, so it was time to hit the police station and go hang out in the squad car.
Hey, it's a lot better to ride up front in one of these things than in the back, let me tell you.
First order of business, we had to hit the beach. And when you're with a cop, you just drive on the lawn.
Holy crap! We're driving to Clark Street Beach. This is great.
The lifeguards were the same as they were in 1987. Tan, cute, and cocky. And while back in our day partying at Clark Street Beach was kind of a given, not a lot of that is going on anymore, now that Officer Benoit is on the scene.
If they get caught down here, there are consequences.
Right.
Unless you can run faster than the cops like these two.
But things were a little different down at Lighthouse Beach.
Just where everyone's had their first beer.
Good, tell me more. Everyone's had their first beer here.
First time I got arrested was here.
Hey, all right.
And while Kyle is a stickler for following the rules, he couldn't stop me from breaking them.
Officer Benoit consumed alcohol underage when he was 18 years old.
Yeah, we're on.
Party like a rock star. We never smoked weed here. Back in those days, we just did coke.
Kyle wanted to see if any kids were doing illegal things by driving into the woods, but we almost got stuck.
Little flick out here. Little flick.
Next stop, the 9th hole.
I gotta sneak up on these kids. Look at this, beer cans.
This was where we could drink beer in peace, without worrying about being discovered.
Cops wouldn't come this far up the golf course, and then from there you really can't see at night.
We forgot our 12-pack on the 9th hole.
Heading west on Central Street, we passed by Dyke Stadium, but it's now called Ryan Field. While the outside of the stadium looks like it's been renovated, not one thing has changed about the inside of Mustard's Last Stand.
Tell them the things that have changed.
Nothing.
Nothing? Except what have you added?
Employees.
And you've added new
And ice cream too. That's a good.
We've always had ice cream. Always had ice cream, but now you have salad.
Salads, veggie burgers, maybe turkey burgers.
That's good. That's new.
See y'all.
Have a good one. See you soon.
Leaving Mustard's, we drove by the Evanston theaters on Central. Sadly, they closed down a while ago. And now it's time to hit the high school. I felt better having a police escort because there was a gang shooting out in front the day before we came. And I don't think there'd been one since 1984. There've been some cosmetic updates in the entrance. And I couldn't miss the security cameras everywhere. I kept hoping I'd see a security guard who'd ask me, "You got a pass?" But since it was summer, there was really nobody around, and most doors were locked. More proof that we're old? Most of our former teachers had retired. But from what I could see, everything else looked exactly the same. And after taking this tour down memory lane, Kyle and I realized that while we can't go back, we sure don't feel like people in their late 30s. A walk through these halls instantly brings you back to the 80s, like we were just there yesterday, not 20 years ago.